my worry is on the issue of giving 2 weeks as a deadline. It's a very noble exercise, but I think that this House, being the House of the people, should come to the aid of our people and possibly get NCC to shift that 2 weeks to enable Nigerians to effectively submit their...
Okay, let me get a second. Enough, please say aye. Those guys who say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Minority Leader.
That the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, is the independent body saddled with the responsibilities of regulating telecommunications services and facilities, promoting competition and setting performance standards for telecoms operators in Nigeria, with the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy as the supervisory ministry. The House further notes that in January 2020, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy issued a statement wherein telecom subscribers were mandated to get their national identity numbers, in brackets NIN, and submit to the network operators with the aim of ascertaining the true identities of all subscribers and thereby blocking loopholes currently being exploited by unscrupulous individuals. The House is aware that our stakeholders meeting convened on the 15th day of December, precisely yesterday, by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Issa Patami, the federal government issued a statement signed by the Director of Public Affairs, Dr. Ikechukwu Andinde, wherein it stated that any telecom subscriber who failed to submit his or her national identity number to each network provider will be blocked from the network with effect from December 31st. The House is concerned that as laudable as the idea behind the policy may seem, the timing is very wrong because Nigerians have not been properly sensitized, as only a few educated persons who bother to read the dailies might have heard about these instructions. Therefore, trying to enforce this policy in a period where most Nigerians are gearing up for Christmas festivities may lead to stampede in the process of rushing to get registered, which could lead to unnecessary death and injuries. The House is further concerned that if the NCC is allowed to carry out these directives of 2 weeks, it will bring about untold hardship as millions of subscribers will be disconnected this Yuletide period, which could spell disaster in an already volatile nation like ours. The House is worried that if the NCC is not urgently called to halt their plans of 2 weeks as stipulated, there may be unnecessary panic in the country, which may lead to exploitation of vulnerable Nigerians, thereby causing more pains in an already pathetic situation, hence the need to urgently wade into this impending crisis. The House therefore resolves that the House therefore resolves to urge NCC to give reasonable amount of time to enable Nigerians meet with the instruction of submitting their national identity numbers to service providers and not the 2 weeks as given. The House therefore mandates House Committee on Communications to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker. The NCC rolled out an instruction, and the instruction actually is based on what is happening in Nigeria, rising from what happened during NSAS, where most Nigerians or most hoodlums were using SIM cards to abuse and terrorize people in office without being able to ascertain or track them. And rising from that behavior, the NCC was actually summoned by the House to find out why it is that all the SIM cards are not registered. And there were instances where in the meeting that we had, some members brought out their phone where people called them or sent text, and in trying to identify who is the true caller, it's difficult because you can go to anywhere on the road and buy SIM card without it being registered. I think rising from that, NCC was mandated that they should try as much as possible to ensure that all the service providers get all the SIM cards registered. And to start it is, first of all, to register with National Identity Card Management so that you can have your National Identity Card number. When you have it, you will not take it to service providers, and they will, of course, register you. But we did not envisage, Mr. Speaker, that having given that suggestion, that they will now come and say, okay, we are limiting this process to only 2 weeks. And given the period that we are, it will be almost impossible for Nigerians, 200 million Nigerians, to meet that 2 weeks. Hence, this motion. The motion is not saying that we are condemning it. The motion is seeking for NCC to extend that 2 weeks, because it will be almost impossible for Nigerians, every 200 million Nigerians, to be able to, within 2 weeks, register their SIM card. One, it's not just registering, Mr. Speaker. They will first of all go to National Identity Card Management Commission and register themselves. That alone is cumbersome. After the registration, you will not take your NIN number and now look for your service provider. You can imagine the queue. So 2 weeks, in my opinion, and I think it should be the opinion of every member that is representing Nigerians, 2 weeks is damn too small. And that is why this motion is urging members to support it, for us to get NCC to please extend the tenure of 2 weeks to enable every Nigerian to register, so that we can actually track people down. Those who use SIM card for fraudulent acts, they will be able to be tracked down. I had somebody also who submitted that somebody will send messages asking people to pay money. And in finding them, even opening account, they use fictitious SIM card. When you try to track them, you will not be able to track them. So this exercise will actually help us in Nigeria to secure until we pass the data protection bill. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.